In this video, we will be looking at TBC 2024.00. We will focus on the updates made to the advanced point cloud filtering command in TBC. Let's now have a look at the new update we did for the advanced point cloud filtering tool in TBC. I've already uploaded a dataset, and this is already been classified as ground for this project. We have a look at the dataset. It's quite a large area, and let's go have a look at the properties. And you will notice that this is 322 million, almost 323 million points for the specific surface. If this is way too much for your client to deal with, or you would like to sample it down so it's easier to work with, use the advanced point cloud filtering tool for this purpose. As I open up the advanced filtering tool in the point clouds tab, you first of all select your area. You then give it a name. So let's go ground filtered. So it will now create a new region with this name, so it will keep your original point cloud for you. Now you have an option as the previous commanded, the size of the cells you want to filter. Now you will see an additional option here, and this is a dynamic cell size. So what this does, when you tick it on, you now specify the elevation difference, that as soon as you have an elevation difference more than a certain amount, your dynamic cell size would then adapt, and you will now be able to tell it what the cell size should be when that elevation change occurs in your data. So this means you have a much better control over your model key areas when elevation change exceeds a certain amount as you set in the tool, and it will then minimize the cell size to a much smaller area, so you can keep those model key areas more densely populated with the point cloud. Once that area stabilizes again and there's no change, your cell size will then default back to the original one you set and filter the points that way. Outliers, still the same as the previous one. Your filtering strategy is what you want to do. So for bare ground, we'll go with minimum elevation, and then we will choose the actual location of the point. Your filter by polyline options you still have available, and then we simply click on filter, and it will now filter your point cloud looking at that minimum significant elevation difference, adapt your cell size accordingly, and then filter less points on those model key areas where you still want to keep your data integrity. So this will give you a much better surface afterwards, with points on the key areas where you need them and less points where the surface is flat and you don't need as many points as you previously had. So let's go and filter this and see the result. Let's have a look at the results now that the filtering has completed. Let's close it over here, and in the view filter manager you can now see the ground filtered that we've done. Looks pretty much the same as what we previously had. As you can see, the model key areas still has very dense point cloud, but if we now go to the properties of the filtered one, you will see we have only about 12 million points left in our point cloud. So much smaller point cloud, model key areas are still there and retained properly, and it makes it easier to now work with your point cloud region.